of GAN, okay, which will get us to the basic or the vanilla GAN article or the GAN model that generally people use. So if your generator function or the F function in the F divergence happens to be of this particular form, okay, the corresponding divergence measure is called the F divergence. Sorry, Jensen-Shannon divergence. Okay. Now in that case, the uh, loss function will take this particular form. Let me write that. So the cost for the above case the cost function, what was that? Recall that, let us denote that with some j of theta comma w. It's a function of theta and w. What was that? It was expectation of t of x, right? As x comes from bx minus expectation of f star of t of x cap as x cap comes from theta, right? This was our cost function in general. Now, if you take this f, right, and plug it in here, see in the FGAN paper, right, they have given the f and the corresponding f stars. I will show you that. So if you use that and do that for this particular case, this will be equal to the expectation of x as coming from px log of, writing this as tw, right? Log of dw of x, okay, minus expectation of x cap coming from p theta log of 1 minus dw of x. Where dw x is simply, okay, 1 by 1 plus e power minus dw of x, which is simply sigma of dw of x. So, I mean, if you maybe we will make this an item in the TA session. And as I said, please take a note of what all to be done in the TA session, and you should ask Chandan to do that. Huh? Okay. So what is to be done is that you take this F divergence and you take the corresponding F star and you plug in that F divergence here in this equation. And if you simplify the algebra, you will get this cost function this way. Okay, where instead of tw, you just represent another function dw, which is simply you take the dw and put a sigmoid at the output of it. Okay, which is, I'll write that. So now what happens is that you have a network g theta of z that would take z as input, normal 0, 1, and you get x cap that is coming from p theta. Okay, and you have another network which would give us the lower bound row, lower bound. This be called as the dw of x, right? X or x cap here. Sorry, this should be x cap, dw of x cap. So this network is simply what we were writing as T network, okay, plus a small sigmoid here. Sigmoid. So this entire thing is D, and yeah, this was T, and you have a sigmoid on top of it, and you get what? Because it is a sigmoid, no, you get a number that is between 0 and 1. So this is only for the case where your F divergence has this particular form. So this, if you see, if you if you if you can notice, this is the loss function of a naive GAN, isn't it? If you people have seen that, if you look at the blog posts and all that, they would say that this is the loss function of a GAN. It actually comes from here. That you, I mean, this is the usual F divergence minimizer, the loss function that we have. And for that, if you plug in that particular F star, I will show you that paper, FGAN paper, you will understand. I've done that in my notes also. Just have a look at it. I will share my screen. You see my screen?
Not yet,
No,
sir.
sir.
Not yet.
No, sir.
You see it now? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is that FGAN paper, right, which actually I taught so far. Now all this M divergence, etc. So look at this table. No, in this table, what they have done, no, they have given different divergences and the different f functions corresponding to those divergences and the corresponding t functions, optimal t functions. And for GAN, right, which is the naive GAN, this is what is the generator function. Okay. Now they have skipped the algebra. I think I've done it in my notes, or you can ask Chandan to do it. So now with this particular, you look at this now with particular divergence metric, your output activation function, which I just said, no, that at the output of the t function, you should put an activation that would change. It is simply expressing the t function in a different way, right? So finally, this objective, which is the objective function of a GAN, that would happen under this particular f divergence. So if you take a different f divergence, let's say if you take the Pearson's chi-squared distance or the different f function instead of GAN's f divergence, a Jensen channel divergence, then you would have a uh, different loss function basically, right? All you have to do is just plug that in. I will show you the corresponding, yeah, f star also. You see this, no? So these many divergence metrics are there known, and you have the output activation function, which is just the appending that you do on the T network. Because why should you do this output activation function? It is because if you recall, the T function is designed in such a way that its output comes from the domain of F star, right? For the corresponding F divergence that you choose, you'll have to choose your F function in such a way that it would respect domain of F star. Okay, that is why you should have another activation at the output of the T function. That is why you have an activation. You have the corresponding conjugate function also, no, F star. So what you should do is once you pick an F, you get an F star, you plug in that F star and you adjust for the output activation, you get the new loss function for that F divergence. Is that clear? So that is how you get the loss function for the naive GAN. So they chose, in fact, somebody was asking at the beginning of the session, right? Did they start with this math and come back? No, that is not how they did. In the original GAN paper, they write this loss function in a different, I mean, from a different motivation. I will tell you that motivation also. It is not mathematically grounded. But this paper at F divergence, it creates that GAN class where the naive GAN also becomes a member. Okay. So did all of you get how we got from the loss function of the F GAN or rather F divergences to this particular instantiation? It's simply, as I said, no, we have defined a class, a GAN class. From the GAN class, we got one instantiation with this F of u becoming Jensen channel divergence. Uh, any questions on this? Yeah, Mukesh?
Sir, shouldn't f of 1 be equal to 0, like in this Johnson diversion?
Yeah, it is, no? No, no, it's not. I think we corrected that. No, it should be f of, let me just see
It
that.
sh-
F
the
of 0
second,
is 1.
I think the second term should be here in log of u plus 1 by 2.
Hold on, let me just see that. Did I make a mistake here? No, that's correct. f of 1 is 0.
Yeah, but f of 1 doesn't evaluate to 0 with this equation.
Doesn't evaluate to 0 here. It evaluates to what? That is 0. This is log 2. It will evaluate to 2 log 2, right?
Yeah,
So
minus.
it was u plus 1
log
by
4.
2.
Huh?
So it is u plus 1 by 2 in the original expression. So if it is u plus 1 by 2, then it will evaluate to 0.
No, but there is no u plus 1 by 2 in this generative function in base. Okay, so fine, I can put it u plus 1 by 2. That's also convex. That will evaluate to 1 node in that case.
Yeah.
This will evaluate to 1. Okay. See, okay, so I'll tell you where this thing is. See, the GAN's loss function that they use, no, it's not a proper F divergence in the sense that it is off by F divergence by that 2 log 2 factor. Do you understand? So that's why you are getting that term. So you divide that by 2, it will become proper Jensen standard divergence. It will become that GAN's objective. Okay, so it is off by that factor 2 log 2. Anyway, yeah, Raghavendra.
Sir, can you please repeat why you said that we need this final activation of sigmoid?
This
I
is
didn't quite
because,
get that.
yeah, this is because uh, the t function that the way we define, no, the t function we define, that what was the t function? It was from x, right, the domain of x to the domain of f star,
Yeah.
right? So now if you choose a particular f star, f function, you have to ensure that your t function has the output that obeys domain of f star.
Okay, and sigmoid is 1, or is the only one?
Sigmoid is 1 for this f function.
Okay.
For this function, sigmoid is the one that you take. See, that
So
is why,
that's a
you
fixed
know,
that's a fixed mapping, or for a
that's
given
for
function?
for a given f function, it is fixed. That is why I showed you in that FGAN paper, they have listed the output activation for different f divergences.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
In fact, it's a good point that you made. See, because the output activation for this particular f function happens to be giving you a value between 0 and 1, no, the t function in this case can be interpreted as a classifier. Do you understand that? See, now because the t function in this case will give you a value between 0 and 1, it can be interpreted as a classifier. That is why it is called a discriminator in that case. Got it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's in general, it's called a critique, right? I mean, it can be anything. But in this particular case, because it gives you a value between 0 and 1, uh, you can call that a classifier. You can interpret that as a classifier. That is another interpretation that I give you. Okay, great. Okay, so now what we will do is the following. I promised that I will write down the gradients and all that. No, I will do that now. Okay, let us write the optimization problem now. So we have theta star and W star. So you need to minimize with respect to theta and you have to maximize with respect to W, right? What is that? In this case, it will be log of, oh no, you have an expectation there. Can all of you mute, please? From Px minus expectation of, what was that? Log of 1 minus tw. x cap, as x cap is coming from p theta, right? This is the loss function. Now we know that we can approximate these using expectations using law of large numbers, right? So approximating the expectations via law of large numbers just simply the sample estimates. How do we do that? We have, let me write that cost function on j theta comma w. This is what I'm representing as j. This is okay. This is equal to we have n samples of data. It is 1 by n are equal to 1 through n log of tw xi minus where's my expectation of this all 1 by m j is 1 through m log of 1 minus tw x cap j, where x1 x2 up to x capital N are coming from px, which is the data, right? And you have x1 cap, x2 cap up to xm cap are coming from p theta, which are the output of g theta network. Now, how do you get this sample z1 through zm, okay, from normal distribution, and pass them through g theta of z to obtain Is it okay? So this, right now, let me call this as J cap because I'm taking a sample estimate, okay? Now this J cap theta can be computed, right? Any questions on this? This is pretty important. This is what you're going to implement. So this J cap can be implemented, no? Yeah. Sarvesh?
Yes, so is there a specific reason of choosing NNM different or what like or it
Okay.
can be something?
It's just batch processing, no? That's batch size of training your discriminator and generator. You can use any batch size. So
Okay.
typically you don't take the entire data set, no? You do stochastic gradient descent where all of you know what stochastic gradient descent is, right? Did Chandan talk about it? When you do gradient descent, you don't take all data points, you just take a subset of data points and you iterate over it. No, that's what one epoch means. All of you know this, no? Okay. No questions on this. So now JCap can be computed. So now how do you train this? Or training again? Practically. Don't take me wrong, but I'm just take this in a lighter note. Uh, for the person who said that I'm paying this much not to learn math, I hope I'm doing some justice now by telling you how to train GANs practically also. Okay. That was, again, please don't take it negatively. It's simply a in a lighter note. Okay, so now let's see finally how to train a GAN practically, right? So now what happens is we do it using gradient descents. Let me write the architecture here. World has become too sensitive these days, so you can't crack jokes but take it too seriously. I'm not talking about you in general, right? So if you crack jokes with your friends and spouses or children or students, everybody takes it too seriously.
We are the samples of the same population.
No. See, when I was a student, I don't know, most of you might be younger than me, right? I'm 35. So most of you will be maybe late 20s or early 30s. Every 5 years is a new generation now. My teachers used to do all kinds of things for us. No? They used to harass us, embarrass us, to beat us, all kinds of things, and we never took it seriously. But this generation, my God. Somebody again in one of those feedbacks, somebody wrote, not your course, somebody wrote that you're just doing your job, you're getting paid for what you are doing. So there's nothing great about you teaching. Yeah. Then I think I realized that okay, that is one way to look at this entire thing. I'm doing my job, which is true. Okay, so let's not even do this. Let's say that he. So this is the. See, our parents always tell us, right, that आपको पैदा किया, बड़ा किया and all that. Imagine if children tell them that you just did your job, which is also true. We never say that, right? So, yeah. That's how people do it in the West, right? I mean, uh, this happened, by the way. A child went to court against their parents, and the case was that uh, that uh, that he put a case on their parents for having given birth to him without his consent.
Wow. If I say something like this, my parents will slap me first. So
No, and if you don't mind, I'll just take 2 minutes on something that one of my senior colleagues from IIT Delhi told me. It's a story which
Please
he
share, sir.
told.
So please share.
So he said that it have see, I have so many stories to say outside of this class. The problem is that it's not my job to tell you stories. It's my job to teach you to GANs. Unfortunately, anyway. So here is how I was having a conversation with one of my very senior colleagues from IIT Delhi. He also got a some highest national award for science. It is Professor Bhim Singh, very prolific senior man. He was already 65 then when I was there. I was a 25 years old kid when I joined as a faculty, then 26, 27 years. I was talking to him and he narrated a nice incident, very funny incident to me. He said he has a collaborator from some university in Canada. He's an Indian guy, Punjabi guy. Okay. Now, what had happened is this professor in Canada, he had gone to university for work, and that professor's son, who was 10, 12 years old, he was left in home with his grandchildren, sorry, grandparents, who is this professor's father and mother, okay, parents. Now, this grandfather scolded that pota, okay, did something, and this grandchild who was born and brought up in Canada, he lodged a complaint against his own grandfather. And in those countries, my own sister stays in Sweden, and it is a true thing that if a child goes to police and complains against their parents, the children is just taken away. Okay, parents are penalized, under law, and children are taken away and put into some government looked facility. Okay. So now this professor comes back home, and there is police there interrogating his parents. So what had happened and all that. So then he somehow managed, and this kid has complained basically. He said that my grandfather abuses me and all that. So then this professor somehow managed. So a few months later, the entire family visits India, okay, for vacation. Maybe my colleague Professor Bhim Singh exaggerated this, but the way he told me is the moment that they touched down India, right? This professor starting hitting that kid in the airport itself, like जोर से मार रहा था. So a few policemen came to this professor and asked him, क्या हो रहा है, right? Why are you beating your child? So this professor narrated that entire incident. That policeman said that हम भी मारेंगे उनको. Hit him more.
This is possible,
So
sir. This is definitely possible. I mean,
so yeah, so I mean that's the cultural difference, no? I think that is slowly peeping into our culture as well. We should be very careful with our students, very careful with our children these days. And by the way, Indian law also has that, and you cannot, I mean, if you cannot quote unquote abuse your children. See, my mother, I still remember, she used to take these, I don't know what it is called in English. Uh, I don't know. See, the thing that you use to place hot utensils on top of your stove, no? What is it called? I don't know what is it called. It's a heavy thong kind of a thing that is made in steel. Iron actually, not even steel. So she used to take that and hit me on my knuckles. So and that was a usual thing, I never took it offensively. If I do it to my child now, maybe she'll go and complain to police. Yeah, anyway.
Maybe you are unaware
sir,
of your rights.
Perhaps.
had a sir, I had a geography teacher in my school days,
Yeah.
and he used to tell me that all the students that pair chuo. So he used to tell us to like touch your own feet. And the
Oh my
moment we used
God.
to touch our own feet, he used to smack us on our back with a wooden stick. So, I mean, this is very common in our generation, but this Gen Z, it's very difficult to even scold them.
Exactly. Anyway, so that's for a different day's discussion. Let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, so what will happen is, so there is this J cap theta comma W, okay, which is 1 over n. You have a sum over log
Sir,
of.
sorry, that trapezium you have drawn for the G theta, right? It is changed. Usually draw a different
Come again,
trapezium,
I,
right?
I am not
The
following.
diagram you decide that drawn for the G theta of Z usually
Yeah.
draw a different trapezium, right? Not this one.
Should be expanding,
Yeah.
not narrowing.
Oh, sorry. Correct. So because the dimensionality of Z is much lesser than that of X. Thank you. That's my mistake. So typically, right, Z comes from some 8, 16 or 32 dimensional space. Okay, when you implement, so it comes from 32 dimensional Gaussian. Okay, so X is of course X cap is in RD, where D is the data dimensionality. If it's an image, it is 10,000 dimensional, whatever your data dimension is. So this is it, and then minus you have 1 over M. You have 1 minus, is it log? I always forget that it is log of 1 minus that. Okay. See, I could have actually written this down and started GAN, discussing GAN with this. I don't like that narrative at all because I don't understand where this last function came suddenly, right? It just appeared out of blue, and why should this work and so on. I was never convinced. I think this is a more principled way of doing it. Okay. Now, how do we try in that? So now we need theta t plus 1. So let us look at the I'll use different colors. This is for the let's train generator training. Okay. For generator training, what you should do is that you should write theta t plus 1 is equal to theta t minus the gradient of j cap, okay, evaluated at theta t comma wt. This with respect to theta. So there is this. You can use your favorite optimizer, by the way. I mean, I am simply writing this thing, stochastic gradient descent. You can use Adam or RMS prop, like is back prop. I mean, this thing, gradient descent with momentum, whatever, doesn't matter. So now you get this. Now, how do you do that? That's you look at the gradient of j cap with respect to theta is simply look, when observe that the first term right here, this term is, let's scratch it out. This term is independent of theta, right? So the gradient becomes 0. So the gradient is simply the gradient of negative 1 minus m j equal to 1 through m log of 1 minus dw x cap j. Now, the way I have written, no, the dependence of theta is not apparent, but observe that x cap j, okay, maybe I'll write it explicitly so that it will become easier for you. This is EW of, what is this? This is g theta z I know. Now the dependence on theta is apparent. So this is xj cap. This okay? So now how do you do that? So first you do a okay, let's write down the forward pass using green. So you take this, do one forward pass through g theta. So you get xj or g theta of zj. Okay. Okay. Then xj cap and pass this xj cap through dwx. I will not write x here because it can take both x or x cap. Then what do you get? The output, what you get here is dw of xj cap. Okay. Once you get this, which is okay, I will write that as is also dw of xj cap. Okay. Then you have this dw of xj cap, right? Which is this term. So you can compute the log of it, right? Once you compute the log of it, you compute, I will write the gradients in blue. So you compute the gradient of this log of 1 minus dw of xj cap. Okay. And then back propagate that all the way through this. It comes like this, the gradients, and goes all the way through the input. So this is with W fixed. This okay? So now to do one backward pass through the generator, what you have to do is first do a forward pass through the generator, get xj cap, take that xj cap. So this is this is I think the timing of the tutorial was perfect, no? So the backdrop was taught precisely before I wanted to do this. That was the intention. Okay. I hope this is clear. Any self-explanatory? Any questions on this? Does anyone have any questions? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
you are
sir.
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Yeah, okay. Is this clear? This should be pretty clear, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us do this is generator training, okay? Let us do the same thing for similar thing for discriminator training. I don't want to clutter it with this. I will write another. So can we extend the class by 10 minutes? Like, because I
Yes,
want to finish this today.
Sure, sir.
Let's write the discriminator training. Critique discriminator training. Then we will do the same thing here. This is the record pass. I'll use some other color. Which color? Blue. See, someone's suggestions on using different color was really good. I never thought about this. It will add one other dimension to my notes. Okay, forward pass. Whoever suggested, thank you. So this is how the network is. बार भी सही नहीं आता है. Oh, okay, doesn't matter. So we have this C1 up to CM sample from N01, and we have this G theta of Z network, and the output is X cap. That is, what did I write here? I wrote this X1 cap through X1 XI cap. Okay. Okay, XM cap, and then you have the critique or the discriminator network. So you know that this network can take X or X cap both as input. Okay. So in this case, what did we do? We only took X cap through the DW network, no? Because we only wanted to compute the second term, correct? Here we will see that we have to take, okay, so maybe I will make it concrete. Why X here? We only take X cap here as input, correct? In the discriminator training, sorry, in the generator training, only X cap goes for the discriminator. So that is perfect. Okay, here both will go, and this will be a number between 0 and 1. 0 and 1 because it has a sigmoidity output. Fine. Now J theta comma W is equal to 1 over N is 1 through N. You have log of dW of Xi minus 1 over M J from 1 through M log of 1 minus PW of G theta of Cj. Okay, right? Now we will look at the training or critic or the discriminator in the case of this particular F divergence. So it will be, so you have to write Wt plus 1, this is Wt minus some beta times the gradient of same loss function with respect to the theta that you have taken at the tth instant and W that you have taken at the tth instant. That's all. So this is how you train it. Now to find the gradient, what you do is take, so note that the output of the discriminator, right? You need to compute the, okay, gradients we are writing like this. Now we have to compute the gradients of the first term, which is log of dw of xi. Now how do you do that? Simply take some xi's, okay? So this is x1 through xn, okay? Pass it through the discriminator. You will get dw of xi, okay? Then you compute this, okay? And then back propagate this all the way to the input. Is this okay? This is for the first term. All right. Okay. So what about second term? For the second term, we need to do the following. So we need to do one forward pass through the generator. Okay. This way we'll get okay. Now take all these and pass it through the discriminator. Oh, there is no space here. What do I do? Take all this and pass it. Shall I write a copy of discriminator here again?
But I guess you can
Okay.
create a space like that.
How?
Sir, in top, I guess there is double-sided arrow, right? Somewhere.
Here you
You
have
will
rubber.
also select.
Yeah,
Fifth
left of
icon.
the rubber. Left
Yeah,
of the
I
rubber.
think left of the
Sir,
Rubber.
side of rubber. Yeah.
here, no here.
Left of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Uh,
put a space.
how? Okay, I got
Click
Then
on it
something.
click
somewhere
and
and
just
drag.
drag,
Drag
drag
down.
down.
Like this, huh?
No, sir.
Sir,
Not
so pencil.
just click on where you want to add space and pull it down. It's like pulling that block down.
Oh, oh, nice. I didn't know this at all. Okay. This is also getting cut. I don't want that to happen. Looks like I can't do it.
It will get cut, sir. Entire page gets down.
So you will have to do from blank space.
Okay, so maybe let me do one thing. This I can rewrite, no problem.
So there are different pencils as well.
Different?
Pencils.
Huh.
So if you are changing same color of same pencil, you can use different one.
How is that?
So there are already there.
Oh, here,
This, yeah.
Oh, you change them to different colors. I see. And you can add more pencils also.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. Useful tips. Okay, yeah, this is okay. This is one forward pass. So now once you get this, what you can do is that you take this and pass through the discriminator. I have to write another copy of discriminator here. That's not the way. Please don't. Okay, if I write it, what if you think that there are two discriminators? That is what I'm worried about. There aren't two discriminators. There's only one discriminator here. You get this x1 through xm and you take them and okay, pass them through the discriminator. To obtain, what do you get? You get compute log of 1 minus dw of g theta zi zj, right? Compute this and then backpropagate. To the discriminator. So now in this entire thing, right? I have to write that here. See the entire thing here. W is kept fixed. Okay, so here theta is fixed. Is this clear? How do you try and discriminator? The discriminator has two terms, right? I mean, both the terms in the loss depends on discriminator because you have dw both here. So for the second term, it's simple. You just take samples from x1 through xm, pass it through that. You get this, then compute log of dwxi, take the gradient, backpropagate. That's all. To get the second term, start from Z1 to Zm, pass it through the fixed generator. You get X1 cap through Xm cap. Take those samples, pass them to the discriminator, and compute this log of 1 minus dw g theta zj, and then backpropagate that loss. And see, note that backpropagation stops at the input of discriminator because there's a discriminator training. The loss do not pass through the generator. Here, while the losses passes through discriminator, the weights of discriminator is not changed. Is that okay? So is the now you can code this up, right? And tell me this, do you need a tutorial on PyTorch? Like that's what he did in the previous class, or did he only do theory of backprop?
PyTorch next class is what he said.
So do you need a tutorial on PyTorch? How to do this backpropagation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll just put it right away. Yes. So if you have any questions on this, feel free to ask me.
Yes, sir. Just look at head around.
Come again?
Yeah, just trying to capture this actually or digest this.
You can ask me in the next class, no problem. Okay, Sarvesh, maybe I will make this.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, please go through this carefully, maybe before coming to the next class, and you can ask me questions. No problem. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So this Z1 to Zm that we are using, which are the first random variable. So are these fixed, or they could change between the iterations? Like uh,
They can change. In fact, you do batch gradient descent here. No, you don't take m samples. You don't take all n samples in data. You take a subset of it, no, and do it on all possible subsets. That is one epoch of training.
okay, so for every batch, we could generate new m samples and then run it through.
That is how you do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sachin?
Sir, can you explain this discriminator training or the generator training in like intuitive way, like not in the mathematical form? Like what exactly is happening?
What exactly is happening is that this discriminator is what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear me saying that, okay, there is this, basically what's happening is discriminator is creating that lower bound and generator is trying to minimize it. Okay. However, for this particular case of Jensen channel divergence, right? Because this discriminator happens to be a classifier, there is one other interpretation that you can give, which I will give you next class.
Okay.
But I want to like deliberately avoided that simply because see, I mean, this is not restrictive to this particular F divergence. Now you take any F divergence, the exact same procedure holds. Do you see that?
Correct.
For this particular F, where your discriminator or the critique network happens to be a classifier, there is another interpretation that one can give for this loss function. You can actually see this as classification losses. These things as classification losses, and there is another classification interpretation that one can give. I'll do that in the next class. I'll start the next class with that. Okay. So after next class, I think the end of next week is when I will release the first assignment. I can do it the mid of next week itself. I'll be asking you to implement GANs basically. Okay. Hope this is clear. Please go through this today's content. Hey, and like one of the other comments was that somebody said that we would choose quality over quantity, right? Do you think I'm covering too much?
It's good, sir. Too much is good.
It's fine.
No, but I'm not doing too much. I told you that
Yeah,
in my opinion, the what I do in the offline course, I do 30% of it in the online course, right? And
Sir, every other
yeah,
quarter there is a new LLM coming, so I think covering more is good, sir. Because otherwise, even if someone feels that we are covering more, but I think this is
No,
good to know, sir. All this.
but
of
are
course he can
we
cover more, but we cannot digest everything.
correct? But like, and also, am I compromising on quality? I mean, that's the question.
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
no.
Right. So
Definitely
if
not,
you
sir.
if you feel it
Definitely
that
not.
way, just let me know. Okay. See, I'm covering too little. I'm going a little slow actually, just to ensure that everybody is in the same page. Huh? Anyway, Sushil.
So in this network, X is the image, the input. X can be
Uh,
any kind of data like text or
X can be
audio.
X can be any kind of data.
Okay. And sir,
But
then do we use this again for text generation also?
generally, people don't use GANs for text generation. Okay, there is another reason for it. You ask this question next class to me. Huh?
Okay.
GANs is not over it. Okay, I will spend the half of the next class on this. I will give you more interpretations on this. Okay, I will tell you why people typically don't use GANs for text generation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
A lot of noise in the background. Huh? Okay, Astik.
Sir, you said you are covering a little less here. So, is there some reference material if we want to go a bit deeper?
See, my notes, my handwritten notes, all of that has reading material at the end of it.
Okay, so your handwritten notes on your website, right?
I shared it with you, did I? Or have I put it on the website?
I think there are some lecture videos, but notes, I'm not sure.
Lecture videos, no?
Yeah, the
No, no,
Google
no.
Drive, right?
They're not videos, they're notes only. You never have had a look at it. Huh? Please have a look at it.
Okay. Thank you.
But I think when you say handwritten notes, it is this class notes, or it is different.
Okay, let me show you what I mean. Please mute yourselves. But I put it in my web page. Huh? This thing.
Okay, yeah, fine.
So at the end of this, and there are more content in this which I'm not covering, and also these things, all of these. This is where you can go and see, get more information. Okay.
Okay, so these notes are from offline course or they're from
I wrote it 3-4 years back. I mean, just for my
Okay.
reference. You want my offline course notes? I think so. I mean, you should ask some offline students. I'm not making any notes for the offline class. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you
Sir,
also have notes for ML or deep learning course?
That haven't I shared it with you? Hold on. I think I have it somewhere here. One of my students, when I taught it
Maybe
the
you can
last
share
time.
or email.
Hold on. I will put it in the chat group right now. Hold on. So this is Teams, not this. Somebody asked this in the offline version and I shared this. Yeah, this is, I mean, this guy Prashant, my student in the offline class, his notes were so good. I mean, I generally don't do like slide-based teaching. I do board work. So somebody wrote it very nicely and hold on, post ML notes. This is the course that I teach in the other semester. I mean, it is not, I don't offer this for the online students, only for the offline students. Are you seeing my screen?
No, sir.
No,
We are
you are not
not.
sharing.
Yeah, that I put it in the Teams, okay? Yeah, I put it in the Teams, just have a look at it. Yeah, so this is his notes. Yeah, so you can have a look at it.
Can you please share this link?
I have done that. I don't know if it will be of any use to you, but because this is all my board work, whatever I did in the previous board work. See, what I suggest is if you want a good ML course, right, there are many of them. One of them is of my advisor, Professor Shastri. It is there in NPTEL. It's called Pattern Recognition and Neural Networks, PRNN, in NPTEL. Okay, you can have a look at it. That's a good foundational course on ML. Okay. Okay, I think we are uh, well past the time. Okay.
Sir, last thing, I'm very sorry. Regarding your deep genetic model, old notes you just showed now, if you please share that link as well, please.
Which one?
You showed that you took some notes
Handwritten
on
notes.
handwritten notes, DGM.
What did I show?
I mean, just before the email. I mean, same Google Drive. I think you have.
It is already shared actually. If you search on the
Oh,
Google, it
okay.
comes.
See, I think last year's board work, I think I have it. Have I shared that with you? ADRL class workings.
Yeah, I
So the one
think
that is on your website?
No, not
ADRL.
that. There's one called ADRL class workings. Let me see if that's the one. I think 1 year back, or yeah, there's some 130 MB. Okay, let me share that. Here, copy link, manage access. Anyone with link. Done. Here, no. Where should I go here? Not reply, start a post. Previous year's class workings. See, I don't see these when I'm teaching because I want novelty every time. Yeah, but this is the previous year's working if you are interested. Do you still see my screen? No.
No, sir.
No, sir, we don't.
No.
Okay, let me show you. You see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
this is what I've shared with you. This is my last year's thing. So I did very differently last time. No, I started from Gaussian mixture models, VAEs, and then I went to GANs. Then to diffusion models and so on. Okay. Yeah. If you want, you can have a look at it. Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Okay. See you next week then. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.